Hello, dear students, welcome to the English class. In this session, we will study about report writing. It carries 5 marks. Report writing means you are reporting, you are explaining and narrating about something which is given in the diagram. Okay, in the question, you will find one diagram. The diagram may be in the shape of line graph, it may be in the shape of bar graph, it may be in the shape of pie charts. Okay, whatever the diagram contains the data, the diagram contains a data or some information that is given in the diagram. The same thing you have to explain in your words. It is very much simple task, and here easily you can score up to 5 marks. Okay, so to understand, we can go through with a small example, that is what is report writing. Here I wrote one number, that is 45, and in front of that number I wrote in words. Okay, this is 45, this is number, and this is also 45, but it is in words. Both are same. In the same way, here report writing is also does the same thing here. See, in the question, they were given the information in the form of diagram. Okay, the same information you have to write in words. How we wrote the number into words, in the same way that information in the diagram you have to write in your own words. Okay, here we will study about shape of diagrams, how many types of diagrams are given and how we are going to solve the question or solve the problem. Here there are 3 diagrams, those are line graph, bar graph and pie chart. Okay, this is bar graph. Okay, bar graph is containing one vertical line and one horizontal line, and these bars are representing some percentages. There are variations are also there. Whatever you find in this bar graph, that you have to write in your words. Okay, this is the example of bar graph. Bar graphs contain pillars. Then this is also the bar graph, but here 2 informations were given together. Here only one information is given, but here 2 informations, 2 datas were given for your comparison. Here you have to write report comparatively. Whatever the information is given, on that basis you have to compare. See, this vertical line contains hours and this horizontal line contains cooking, watching TV, hobbies, rearing children and reading. Like this, there is a comparison between rural women and urban women. Comparatively you have to write, and this is the example for bar graph. And this is pie chart. Sometimes the information is also given in the pie chart. According to this diagram, you have to explain the things in your words. Okay, that is food and clothing 30%, health 15%, entertainment again 15%, education 10%, savings 10%, repaying loans 20%. Like this, some information, some issues, like some data is given in this pie chart, that you have to explain in your words. And this is example for pie chart. And one more diagram called line graph. Okay, here line graph, this is vertical line, and this is in crores, and this is horizontal line. Some years were mentioned in this horizontal line, and the data, the increase and decrease of the data about population growth is given in the line. Okay, so it is called as line graph. Like this, three variety of data or three variety of diagrams they use in order to give the information about the data. Okay, it may be bar graph, pie chart, and this is line graph. By observing the chart, observing the diagram, we have to write our own report for this data. Okay, we must use the information from the diagram. Okay, by using that information, we have to report, we have to make our sentences and according to the information. See, I will do one report writing for example here. See, the question is, look at the following bar graph followed by a report. It contains a report. What report does it contain? See, literacy rate in India after independence. See, after independence, how does this literacy rate increased year by year? That information is given in this in this bar graph. Okay, first we have to study the diagram, then we will write the report. See, this vertical line contains the percentage of literacy rate, and this horizontal line contains year after independence. Okay, see, year by year how does this literacy rate increased? That percentage was given on these pillars. Okay, that you have to write. You must start with the introductory word, that is the given bar graph represents the literacy rate in India after independence. Okay, after independence, how does that literacy rate increase or decreased in India? That was given in the bar graph. These are introductory words. You have to write those words. After that, you have to mention, you have to start for mentioning the numbers. How does it increase year by year? Okay, see, then from the year 1951, the literacy rate in India was 16.70%. But whereas in the year 2011, it increased to 74.04%. There was a tremendous growth in literacy rate in India after independence. Okay, there was a growth. There was a growth within how many years? Within, say, 51 to 61, 1 year, 71 to here 10 years, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. In these 60 years, the literacy rate reached to 74.04%. So there was a growth in the literacy rate in India. How I explained about the bar graph, you have to write the same thing. Okay, year by year, within one decade. Decade means 10 years. The literacy rate increased to 60.72, 724%. Then again in 10 years, it increased to 29.50%. Again in the 10 years, in the 1981, it increased to 36.20%, and in the decade 1991, that literacy rate reached to 52.10%, and in further 10 years, in the 2001, it reached to 65.38 percentage. Finally, after 10 years, in 2011, the literacy rate rose up to 74.04 percentage. Like this, year by year, that literacy rate increased. Okay, dear students, in this chart we only see the increment in the data. There is no fall, only increment is there year by year. So it is very easy to write a report. How I explained the thing, in the same way you have to write the report. How I told, 45, it is a number. If you write that number into word, how you are going to write? FOURTY FIVE. In the same way, this diagram you have to write in your words. How they did? They solved this question for an example. See, the above bar graph represents the literacy rate in India after independence. This is introductory word. Spreading over a duration of 60 years. I told you, from 51 to 2011. Duration of 60 years, how that literacy increased from 51 to 2011. The rate of literacy has attained a steady growth from just 16.7 percentage in 1951 to a considerable growth up to 74.04 in 2011. We studied about this also. See, in the year 1951 it was 16.70, and after 60 years in 2010 it reached to 74.4 percentage. That we have to mention in the report writing. As can be ascertained from the graph, that can be found by the graph in the initial years of independence. In the initial years of independence, that is during the first 30 years. During these 30 years, the growth rate has been below 10 percentage. Okay, see, we can observe. Before these 30 years, the growth of literacy rate was below 30. Yes, we can identify. After, in the year 1981, it reached to 36. In these 30 years, it was up to 29. Okay, it is below 30. The same thing, whatever the graph contained, the same thing they wrote in the words. Okay, there is a big leap in the 1980s, as there is an all-time increase of 14 percentage. Okay, in 1970s there was a leap, there was a big growth. 1970s, see, after 1970s all times of 14 percentage. Suddenly after 10 years that literacy rate grows up to 14 percentage of increment was there from 1970s to from 1980s to 1991. The next decade has also witnessed a growth of about 13 percentage. See, after this, see here, from 1970s to 1980 there was 14 percentage increment. After 1981 to 1991 again there was a 13 percentage increment. The rate has witnessed a fall in the next decade as it is less than 10 percentage. But there was an increment in literacy, but that percentage of increment is less here. Okay, before 20 years the percentage was 14, Before 10 years, the growth of literacy rate percentage was 13. See, now the percentage of literacy rate is 10% increment in the literacy. See, the policies of the governments and their implementations might be the reason for the unsteady trend in the growth of literacy rate. Here, you may give the reasons for the rise and fall. If you know well, you can give, or some suspect you can make with your reports. Okay, you are allowed to make, you are allowed to give, but you don't know. If you know about the data, you may give some reasons also how they given here. These policies of governments and their implementations might be the reason for the unsteady trend in the growth of literacy rate. However, the overall growth is promising since it shows signs of crossing 75% in 2011. See, however, if we consider there was a steady growth in the increase of the literacy percentage, then also we can find in the decade 2011 literacy rate crossed 75%, and that is good thing also. Like this, at the end they conclude that there was a progress in literacy rate in India. Okay, here, dear students, you are not allowed. If you know the reasons, then only you may give the reasons. Otherwise, if you don't know the reasons, you are not forced to give. But the thing is, whatever the data is given in the report, that you have to explain properly. Whatever the growth and whatever the fall was shown in the diagram, that you have to write properly. If you know the reason, you may write. If you don't know the reason, but some suspects also you can do, whether your reason is right or wrong, but you can make some suspicions also. Okay, like this, with nearly for one page you have to write report writing for 5 marks. It is, as I told, it is very simple task. Okay, dear students, here one more bar graph is given, but this bar graph contain two different ideas or two different information. Here, this vertical line contains hours. Hours mean 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hours, like that. And this horizontal line contains some data, that is work, that is cooking, watching TV, hobby, rearing children and reading. Here, two informations were given together in order to make comparison. So you have to make comparison between rural women and urban women. See, the following bar chart represents the results of a survey based on information about how rural and urban women spend the hours of their day for some chosen activities. On an average, based on this information, write a report in about 120 words. See how these rural and urban women were spending their hours of their day, that was given in the diagram, that is bar graph. By using that bar graph, you have to report your information with your words. Okay, this black is representing the rural woman, and this white pillar is representing the urban woman. Okay, see, for cooking, rural woman is taking more time for cooking, nearly one and half hour she will take for cooking. But whereas urban woman, she was taking nearly 45 minutes to cook. This is 1 hour and this is 2 hour. Here urban woman takes 45 minutes to cook, rural woman takes nearly 1.5 hour to cook. Okay, then watching TV. This rural woman, here dear students, separately you can write about rural woman and urban woman with different paragraphs. Otherwise with single comparison, okay, comparison also you can write. How I made, see, only in the first paragraph, rural woman takes 1.5 hour for cooking and see nearly 45 minutes for watching TV, and she has very much less hobbies, so she spend only half an hour on her hobbies. And rural women are well versed with the family work, so they take just 1 hour to take care of their children because they were having some field work also. Then they spend very much less time, nearly 10 to 20 minutes for reading. Like this, in the first paragraph you can write about rural women's activity. Again in the second paragraph, urban woman takes 45 minutes for cook, and she will take more time to watching TV. Her hobbies are more, she was interested in different aspects, so nearly 1.5 hours she spends on her hobbies. And she was not very much comfortable with household work because she is having more different activities also, so she will take to care her children. She up to nearly 1.5 hours she will take to care for her children, and nearly 1 hour she will take and she will spend on reading. Okay, like this with different paragraphs also you can write, or with single comparison. For example, here rural woman spend 1.5 hour for cooking, whereas urban woman takes only 45 minutes to cook. But rural women are more interested in watching TV. They spend nearly 1.5 hour on watching TV, but rural woman was having some more field work, so she uses only 45 minutes to watch TV. Then here urban women are having diverse personalities, so they are having different interests. They are spending nearly 1 hour, more than 1 hour on their hobbies. Rural women, because of heavy work, because of hard work, they are able to spend very much less time on her hobbies, that is nearly 20 minutes. Okay, like this comparative study you have to do. You have to do until the end. Okay, like this different types, different paragraphs you have to write. You have to make comparison, otherwise in the single paragraph you have to make comparison. Okay, see whatever given in the data, that we have to write in the report. Here pie chart is given. This pie chart is also containing the matter. We will go through with the question. That question is, the pie chart given below represents the results of a survey conducted by a non-profit, means NGO, conducted by the NGO to understand how a rural family spends its income on various items. Based on the information, write a report in about 200 words. See, how does rural family spend its annual income on various aspects of their life? That was given in this pie chart. That we have to write, that we have to report with our words. See, that rural family spends 30% of its income on food and cloth, and 15% of their income on health, and again 15% of income on their entertainment, 10% of their income on education, again 10% of their income on they keep 10% of their income as a savings. And they are most of the rural families are having loans. For that they are spending nearly 20% of their income on repaying of loans. See, all these things we have to write. See, I will give some examples how we should write the report here. Rural families are always hard working families because they are working in the fields also. So because of that, when they work in the field, so they do hard work. For that they have to eat more good food, so they are spending nearly 30% of their income on food and cloth. Okay, more percentage of their income they spend on their food and more cloth here. Then they spend very much less amount, that is 15% of their income on health. Why? Because they are hard working and they eat nutritious food. Then they don't give any importance for the entertainment. They only gives importance for their work, and they show the involvement in their household work and field work. So they were not spending more amount on the entertainment, only very much less amount, that is 15% of their income they spend on entertainment. See, on education they spend very much less amount, that is 10% of their income. Why? Because they were illiterate and they were addicted to the hard working. So they were spending very much less amount on the education. Savings also not here they can able to save only 10% of their income. Why? Because initially their income is very much less. They are earning very much less amount of money from their fields, from their work. So they were unable to save more amount in their income, because all that income they are spending on their life and different aspects of their life. And because of these loans, many and most of these rural families are having loans. Why? Because they have to get after this cropping only, after this harvest only. Until harvest they don't have more money. Okay, yearly once or twice they are getting the income. Until they get that profit, they are making some loans from the other people. For that also they are repaying loans. For that also they are spending 20% of their income. Like this, rural families income and their how they are spending their income was given in the pie chart. How I explained it, that in the same way you have to write. It is very much easy task. Okay, then this is line graph. See, line graph. The question, the line graph given below shows population growth during pre-independence and post-independence period in India. Okay, this is post-independence and pre-independence, that population, how it grows year by year. Post-independence period in India, use the information to write a report on the trends of population growth. Okay, see that population growth in India is given. This vertical line contains numbers, that denotes crores, 20 crores, 40 crores, 60 crores. This is the growth of population. And this horizontal line contains the year. In the year 1951, this is post independence, and 1901 pre-independence. See, for example, pre-independence, the population of India is 20 crores. See, in the post-independence, the population post-independence in the year 1951, that population grows up to 40 crores. Okay, see, 1901 to 51, it grows 20 crores to 40 crores. 20 crores to 40 crores. Like this, you have to write your report. In the post year 1961, India's population was 60 crores. Okay, total Indian population growth is given from 1951 to 2011. And here pre-independence Indian population was 1901 to 1941. You have to write the information in comparatively, that is post-independence and pre-independence. How I did a comparison. Okay, I will do one more for you here. That is, see, in the pre-independence, the population of India is 25, nearly 30 crores. Okay, pre-independence in the 1911, in the decade 1911, Indian population was 30 crores. But whereas in the post-independence, in the decade 1961, Indian population growth was 60 crores. Okay, there was nearly 30 crores of growth we find because of scientific development, because of technological development. Educationally, India was developed. Because of that, we find 30 crores of development in the population. Okay, like this, comparatively, you have to write in this report. Okay, dear student, we will write one report from the previous question paper. Okay, here this is. A survey was conducted on the use of chemical fertilizers and organic manure per acre from 1951 to 2001. Okay, the data contains about chemical fertilizer and organic fertilizer used from the year 51 to 2001. Okay, again 60 years. Then the findings of the survey has been represented in the following bar chart. Using the information, write a report in about 120 words. Okay, as I told, this is the question from the question paper for 5 marks. For this, we have to write the report. We will go through with the report here. See, here it contains 5 marks. The bar chart makes an interesting study of the use of chemical fertilizer. Here, the given bar chart makes an interesting study of the use of chemical fertilizer, okay, and organic manure in 50 years from 1951 to 2001. Okay, understand? Whatever the bar graph contains, that was we are writing in our report. Here, this vertical line contains kilograms. how much kilogram, 10 kilogram, 20, 30 kilogram, like that. And years, in the year 1951, this colored black pillar represents chemical fertilizer and this white pillar represents organic manure. Okay, see, in the year, in the decade means 10 years, in the decade 1951, the use of chemical fertilizer is 65 kilograms per acre in India. In the decade 1951, for an acre of land, these farmers are using nearly 70 or 65 kilograms of chemical fertilizer for their field. But whereas organic manure is used very much less, that is nearly 10 kilograms are used for an acre. Okay, why? Because they wanted to get more crop, so they are using this chemical fertilizer in order to get more profit. But they don't know this chemical fertilizer is going to harm. This chemical fertilizer is going to harm their field. But in the next decade, the use of chemical fertilizer decreased. Okay, here increment is there, but in the next 10 years we find the use of chemical fertilizer that decreased to 50 kilograms, 65 to 50 kilograms. But this organic manure, use of organic manure increased 10 kilograms to 35 kilograms. See, 35 kilograms. After 10 years, in the decade 1971, the use of organic manure suddenly increased up to 50 kilograms per acre of land. But chemical fertilizer was decreased to 30 kilograms per acre of land. Why? Because the farmers understood the chemical fertilizer is going to harm their field, so they started using organic manure, as that is going to protect the minerals and some essential qualities of mud for the crop, for the growth of the crop. So they left using this chemical fertilizer for their fields. They started using organic manure for their fields. In the decade 1981, the use of organic manure raised up to 70 kilograms per acre of land. But chemical fertilizer found totally fall in the use, that reached to 25% of use of chemical fertilizer for an acre of land. Okay, next, the same thing we have to explain here. See, the bar chart makes an interesting study of the use of chemical fertilizers and organic manure in 50 years from 1951 to 2001. Interestingly, it's a full circle for chemical fertilizers. Okay, interestingly, in the initially full support was given to the chemical fertilizers, because if it was 70 kilograms per acre in 1951, in 2001 also the use remained the same nevertheless. Okay, what we find in the year 1951, that use of chemical fertilizer is up to 70, nearly 70 kilograms. And if we find in the year 2001, again the use of chemical fertilizer is 70 kilograms per acre of land. So there was no fall and no rise in these 50 years, but in between that use of chemical fertilizer falls in 1971 to 1981. Again it got a growth in 1991. Its growth in 1991. The use of chemical fertilizers steadily went down. Steadily it went down in 1971 to 1981. Went down. The usage coming down to 30 kilograms per acre. Say per acre. That use of chemical fertilizer decreased to 30 kilograms here. From 70 to 50, 50 to 30, 30 to 25, like that 30 kilograms per acre it decreases. The lowest ever in 1981. It reaches very much lowest in 1981. Okay, this is about chemical fertilizer. Now we will go for organic manure. Still we have to talk about its growth. Here up to 1981 it reaches its lowest decrease. However, it picked up again, shooting up to 60 kilograms. Again in the year 1991 it again gathered and its speed and it rose up to 60 kilograms per acre. And in 1991 to come back finally to the original figure of 70 kilograms per acre in 2001. See, from 1991 to 2001 again it came back its final and its previous number, that is it reaches 70 kilograms per acre in 2001. Okay, this is the fall and rise of chemical fertilizer that we explained in the first paragraph. Next we will proceed to the next paragraph. There we explained about the organic manure, how initially it was in less use. Day by day, year by year it got its growth, and again in 1991 it started decreasing. Okay, in the 2001 it reached up to 25 kilograms per an acre. Okay, see, the same thing we have to write here. The story of organic manure is the same through in the reverse order. The story, what is the story of chemical fertilizer? The same story is organic manures also, but it is in reverse order. See, the use which was as low as 10 kilograms per acre in 1951. In 1951, the organic manure was used nearly 10 kilograms per acre of land, but rose up to 30 kilograms in 1961. 1961 it rose 10 to 40, up to 30 kilograms of growth we find here in 1961. And in 1971 and 1981 witnessed a similar rise again from here 61 to 71, again 10%. See, 10 to 40, 40 to 60, 60 to 70. See, within a similar rise, the figure being 50 and 70. Now in 1981, 71 to 81, it reached a figure 50 to 70. But in 1991, it witnessed a fall in the usage of coming fertilizer, fall within the usage standing at 30 kilograms per acre. Okay, in the years 1991 to 2001. Again we find the fall in the further coming years, that is 30 kilograms of organic manure was used for an acre of land. Okay, dear students, like this what was given in the question, that diagram is explained in your words. Okay, very much easy task. Here easily you can score full marks. Okay, but you have to write the sentences without any grammatical mistakes. Okay, dear students, thank you.